Holy crap! This mattress is comfy. I felt myself fall back with my entire body simply melting into softness beneath my body. It was like I was sleeping on a cloud. Was that possible? Demon magic may have had something to do with it, but I was certain I was drifting into almost blissful sleep just by lying on the blanket and mattress. Not caring that I was still in my dress, I closed my eyes and drifted to sleep. I needed the rest, since Diana wouldn't be available for a while anyway. Darkness surrounded my mind. My dreams remained silent and hushed in the cool and calm black. No nightmares appeared and no sounds were made. I was simply resting, and that was all my body needed. I left my thoughts wandering in my subconsciousness, thinking about what was going to happen now. What will the boys do when they realize I'm gone? What will he do? I imagined him finding a way through to the demon world and pulling me back to where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing never to let me go. I would be relieved and we'd be married just as we planned, and hopefully that nightmare I had earlier will not play a part in this story. I really don't want that to be a thing. How unrealistic was that? I had to be realistic. Right now, I was stuck, and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions, whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. Eventually I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been?
Did you have a good rest?
I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the doorway archway. She had a look of concern and pure curiosity on her face as she waited my answer. Do you not know how to knock? Diana pressed her lips into a firm line and almost sneered at me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll knock next time. Would you like me to fluff your pillows too before I send you back to the human world?
Right, she was sending me back to the demon world. What has it been else? I sighed. I'm sorry, I'm just missing home. Diana sighed as well, rubbing her temple.
I know. I can't expect you to be fully calm about the situation you are in, especially since you've done nothing to deserve it, from what I know.
Diana shook her head and stepped in the room, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight at the latest.
Tonight? Really? Diana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not hard to obtain, being that we're in a position of power. You must be lucky.
What do you mean? Cue hologram, and there, before Diana, was the magical hologram with little triangles. Red represents, I believe, Daddy Evil, and purple represents her. Anyway, she pointed to the mark with the purple banner at its tip. It was marked in the centre of mountains and forest area. It was at the very centre of the map.
That is where we are currently, the centre of the Abyssal Plains.
Ooh, fancy. Diana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
I nodded, understanding the situation. I was going to hopefully be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. What should I do until then?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off-limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
I gulped. I didn't want to die. And Diana made the magical map disappear. She shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do. Just don't leave the castle.
I noticed she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diana looked back at me with a reassuring look.
We'll get you back to the human world. I promise you that.
Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I going to do? A part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone and wanted me to explore the castle. I was hunting an opportunity to explore a castle in the Doom world, and a part of me did not want it to go to waste. I was torn on what to do. Explore. There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. Oh no. I stood up and walked towards the door, opening it a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were two directions to go. Which way? Right. I went with the right. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the right corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a bit small in the hall. It was like I was in a fairy tale walking around in a wedding dress. It felt almost dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, and random curtains and flowers. It was mystical to see, and I smiled. As I approached another folk in the hallway, however, I sighed. Really, how does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing I hadn't walked far from my room. I could turn back. Yet... left? I was heading right, so I decided to try the opposite direction this time. I turned left and headed down the hall, greeted by another fantastical decor. The hallway began to almost drive me nuts. I found myself going upstairs and downstairs and wound up in a four-way corridor. Where have I landed myself? I became frustrated. Maybe giving my curiosity was a bad idea. However, the sound of an argument travelled through the air and caught my attention.
And you brought me this. Why?
Sir, the rebel queen demanded it be brought here along with the other materials.
A flower is not important to the ritual. Throw it away or something.
But sir...
I don't want to hear it. Get out.
From a nearby door, a man dressed in a dark cloak holding a white lily-like flower practically ran out. He left the door ajar, but let it aside before turning to walk away, not noticing me. What the... I walked over and peeked in, seeing that the room was a library. It was seated in the middle of it by a table covered in books was a lanky man who casted the shadow spell before.
I know you are there, human.
God damn it! I was hoping to surprise you. Hi! Hello, friend! Huh? How did he know? What, was he able to smell me or something? The man turned to look at me from over his shoulder.
Please don't just stand there. If you wish to come in, then come in. I'm not fond of people peeking into doorways.
Immediately I stepped into the room, not wanting to be rude. The man turned towards me and crossed his arms, taking in my full form.
Well, what may I help you with?
I don't know! Talk! I was just wandering around. I didn't mean to intrude on anything.
You needn't. You'll be returned to the human world soon enough.
I bit my lip. He was right. I really didn't need to wander around if I was never going to return. Still, my curiosity pulled me to explore the castle, and there I was in a library. Well, I simply wanted to see more of the place I happened to land in.
I see. And have you found anything of interest in your little exploration?
I found this library, didn't I?
That you have.
The man turned back to the table as I took a moment to look around. There were so many books, it was almost dizzying to peer at them all. How much information was stored here? The man glared at me as he continued to work on whatever he was focusing on. Glanced at me.
I'm curious about something, human. Since you're here, you can answer this.
Okay, what? I turned back to the man as he straightened up and faced me once again.
Are you well versed in war?
No, why would I be? Excuse me? That came out of nowhere. Why would he expect a woman in the wedding dress to know about war? No, I can't say that I am. Humans tend to try and stay out of war.
Truly? I'm surprised. I've heard that your world is ruled by multiple leaders and beliefs. How are you not constantly at war?
Oh, of course, because here in the demon world things are different. So the morals and everything are turned topsy-turvy here. That's why it's hard for the other one to understand why love compels them to get a union with each other, especially with the demon, because love means more to us. In our world, wars and everything must baffle them as well, because we tend to try and find a civilized way of going about it instead of just attack, attack, attack. Or at least try to, I'm guessing. The tone of his eyes, he almost sounded like he was mocking me. Did he think little of humans like that? We try and maintain peace because we all know we're different. We don't always agree on things, but we all mostly agree the war is bad, so we avoid it. The man took one more look up and down my form, most likely searching for some physical sign that I was lying or aggravating. When he seemed to notice that I wasn't, he rubbed his chin gently and he leaned back against the table behind him.
Humans are such interesting creatures. You have your own societies and countries, ruled by presidents and governments. You are ununited, and yet you thrive. I wonder if the demon world can benefit from such a seemingly ignorant agreement.
I get it, because they're constantly at war with the demon world. They want to be able to have the world where they can all have these different communities and stuff. and not be at each other's throats. It would be nice for them not to be at each other's throats. Was he being serious right now? Why was he being stuck up? I crossed my arms, glaring hard at him. Why does it matter to you what human world does? You're a demon. Things we do there don't affect anything here.
Ah, but that is where you are mistaken.
Huh? The man walked from the table and gestured to the books and the maps that had covered its surface.
When fighting a war, you need to look at all of the details to try and find the most efficient ways to bring your enemy down. When resolving it, you must be able to not only bring peace, but you must also know how to manage the land you have conquered in the aftermath.
I looked to the map to see multiple routes and ideas plastered over the parchment. Was he seriously doing this much research for this war? However, the man simply crossed his arms.
Unfortunately, I suppose that research on the human world would be for naught. We are two different worlds, after all. Yours is built on steel and electricity, while our world is flooded with magic and stone.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Why was he even talking to me at this rate? The man smirked at the agitated look on my face and chuckled. What's so funny?
I guess it's also true that humans are easily angered. Your expression gives you away so easily.
I growled before turning my hands and leaving the library. Rude ass! I was better off in my room. I remained in my room when the night came. I was given food which looked like soup. I didn't, no offense, but during that whole entire reaction, he didn't seem to, cause her to get angry personally to me. That type of conversation, he's just saying how different it is from the demon world to, the human world. The way we go about our wars and everything. That wouldn't have angered me. That would have made me more curious. Why would you consider the human world, a benefit towards trying to resolve your own wars? Why would you even come to me for that question to begin with? I'm wearing a wedding dress. I do not look like I'm battle ready. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that the food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat, though. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? I refuse it. No. No way. No how.